Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing Dimir, but in a different way, because Dimir can be played in 8 million different ways in standard right now, and we are going the reanimator route of Dimir because we have Valgavoth and we have a new reanimate spell in standard in Zombify. Zombify, a very cool card. I love the card art on this. Just a ton of arrows into this like bird. Like, it's so sick looking. It's so cool. Zombify, very cool card. The bird is being reanimated. That's what's happening. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Very cut, dry, simple. Very, this is what I do. This is what I'm going to do. Valgavoth, the card we're reanimating. Easy enough. This says flying lifelink ward, sacrifice 3 non-land permanents. If a card you don't control would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. During your turn, you may play cards exile with Valgavoth. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to its mana value rather than pay its mana cost. So I believe you have to pay life. I don't think there's I don't think it's a choice. Like Omniscience, it says you may cast a spell for free. You can choose to cast it with mana so it doesn't get countered by something. But like this, you have to pay the life, I believe. Could be wrong. That didn't come up at all. So that's a weird thing. But the main thing we're doing, outside of obviously reanimating that, we can reanimate the Overlord of Floodpits. This is here to draw and discard. Play into like the putting this in the graveyard. We play this Overlord, 2 mana, kind of mill over 4, grab a thing that we need. We can do the Harvester as well. It's a one of little kind of piece in here. We have a one of the End, one of Jace, the Perfected Mind, and 1 copy of Negate, along with 1 copy of Rona and 1 copy of Valgavoth's Faithful. A lot of one-ofs in here. I'll get to that in a second. But we are stacked when it comes to removal, and this is where I'm going to talk about where this list came from. I personally do not know where this deck list came from. I changed it a little bit, a very fine, like a finite amount. But my friends who go to the Columbus cons and stuff like that, we have like a channel where we all talk to each other, and they just said one of them was trying to play Reanimator. I think it was the list Ash actually posted. So this is going to come out 2 days from now. Ash posted the video like 2 days ago, I believe, from when this came out. It's a Reanimate list, and they sent that, and they were like, I don't know how I feel about this. They didn't know the record of what she went and everything, so a little bit ugly there. And they then put this in here. They're like, somebody was playing this. I didn't get a name. I didn't get a username. I didn't get anything. So I kind of just ripped it. And here we are. I changed a couple things for best of 1 purposes because it was a best of 3 deck. And that main thing is a nowhere to run here. There's nowhere to run. I think it's super important to have in the decks. Boros is everywhere. The white aura that's like, give it hexproof, or the one that gives it ward. I'd rather just ignore all that and just know where to run it. And then it also opens up all of our extra removal so we don't have to kind of like flirt around whether they have the card or not, kind of abuse Arena's like stop motion thing to see if they actually have a stop. It's just a weird thing that you have to do in this format nowadays. But we have 3 cut downs, 2 anoints, and 3 go for the throats, and obviously the 2 nowhere to runs. And then we have the synthesis, which is here to enter the battlefield, draw a card. A 2 mana 2/3 is actually really important because it can block a lot of things and make sure that we get them off the board. 2 Oculus, we don't mill ourselves too much, so we don't want too many of these. We're oftentimes just casting this card. We're not reanimating this or wanting to. We just want to cast it. Other than that, we have Kiora, new card as well. This has draw 2 cards and then discard 2 cards. Whenever Kiora attacks, if there are 7 or more cards in your graveyard, you may create Scion of the Deep, a legendary 8/8 blue octopus creature token, which is thankfully right there on the side, which is a very nice thing that Arena does do. Basically another kind of just, we want to draw, get stuff in the yard. Sometimes we attack and make an 8/8. So very cool. Outside of that, we have the 2 Overlords that are from Dustmore. Now we should pretty much know already. If you don't, basically this draws 2 cards and then discards a card. Kind of doing the same thing, getting cards in our graveyard. And then Overlord, mill 4, put anything in our hand. So other than that, we're going to go ahead and dive into the games. I hope you all enjoyed them. And if you do enjoy my content, please consider subscribing. It truly helps out the channel a ton. And let's go game. Wow. This game just does it for me sometimes, man. A one of and a one of. Any opener, starting the session off. But we do have some good cards here, so I'm not like too opposed to it. Like Rona is good to an extent in these type of decks, but We do have a Valgavoth in hand. If we rip a Zombify in a land, we feel really good about our chances. If we don't, or our opponent plays a Screaming Nemesis and I can't end it, I'll freak out. I don't know. We do need a land, and we do have ways to discard additional lands post the land. I'd rather take the land now and guarantee that I have it than in the future be missing it every turn. Just digging for it, I guess, is kind of like my thought process here. We'll play a Rona down. Hard to be afraid of is they know where to run if they're playing enchantments and things like that. Could be interesting. Looks like mono black to an extent. Land? Dude. We will loot if we need to. Is draw a card and discard a card? Sure. I don't want that to get stuck under a Deep Cavern Bat, so I will gladly do that. A Deep Cavern Bat's a problem, so now I can just get rid of this island, the kind of situation before where I just kind of guarantee the land, see what we get, have a good time. Cool. Let's play Kiora. A draw 2, discard 2 here. Cut down, and I guess Darkslick Shores can go. A little bit short on cards. We attack, we hit for 3. We play land, we say pass. They have nothing right now. It seems. As though it seems. Okay, they give up. The crab main, the crab guy, gives up. Very cool. Weird chant. We'll keep. We have like a cycle here, and we can reanimate it if it calls for that. Green, white. Is this domain? I haven't played against domain in like 2 days, and as soon as I play like the slower reanimate pile, it's gonna be domain, isn't it? Sure. Green, white seems a bit slower. Honestly, just hope it's like rabbits or something. Of course, it's domain. I just gross. You know what I mean? Just gross. Miss a land and concede the game, please. Oh, dude. Sometimes I just don't want to play against the main, really. Do this. Let's just discard a card. I thought I was resolving Kiora when I picked Kiora. Oh, funny. I'm still under the impression I hate that this has flying. The main reason I didn't want to play against domain, and it's a weird version. They're playing Beanstalks. The reason I don't like playing against domain in a spot like this is because it kind of defeats what we're doing entirely. Like, we have a Valgavoth, right, in our deck that we're wanting to resolve and work out, right? But what happens is, as soon as we put it, they just sunfall the board, and then, like, we waste 2 cards. It's just a little tough. It's a little tough like that. I'll be fine. Darkslick, and then they'll figure something out, I guess. What do we got? Didn't sack the Fable Passage, but the reason they didn't do that is because they needed to hit the other land. The small thing you can do to up your percentage ever so slightly. There's the blue. Yeah. Sure. I just pitched the reanimation spell and they milled me. Fantastic. Like, what? What are we doing? Like, what was your hand? Like, how did you miss a land drop? Oh, hold on. Everybody stop the press. How did we miss a land drop, or assumedly miss a land drop? I feel like tapping out for 2 Beanstalks miscellany drop, I think. How do we do that? We see Zombify. And our first thing is, let's minus on him. Turns on Kiora. Zombify is more likely to hit. What do we do? What? I'm going to move on. All right, we go first. Maybe one day I'll get to reanimate something cool. I have no idea. We'll figure it out, maybe. We'll take the land, get to play the Kiora, have a cut down, held up next turn. Against something. I have no idea. Sure, dude. Not my duress, gamer. Let's mill over. I will grab a Rona because I have a Kiora already. We'll see what's up. Okay. Cut down seems worthless, pretty much. They might have a deep cavern bat, but who really knows? Do I just go for a threat here? I think so. That has like multiple purposes here. Get rid of all that. Maybe I could have gotten rid of this, but this does go up cards, so it's a little weird. I don't know if I have a land or not. Okay. Creature. Sweet. Let's play land before we zombify. We have to attack to make an 8/8. Yes. I'd much rather take the 8/8 over like the Kiora, like. Here's the Valgavoth. Actually, attacking's bad. I lose this to a Shieldred's Edict now. Huh. Sure. I do have the life gain to beat. Brother, you gotta attack. You gotta threaten that at least, I think. I guess I leave the 8/8 so I just don't lose to a Liliana of the Veil, right? Like, that's the thing. Like, I just have to make sure I don't lose to random cards. We'll get rid of that and we'll just keep the Zombify, I suppose. So we can always just reanimate it next turn. But honestly, I'll probably reanimate the Oculus. It seems like the best card to reanimate in a situation like this. Do that, I guess. Draw. Oh. Oh. Huh. I guess I can just attack and then reanimate the Valgavoth again, right? Like, dude, I got him. What if I go for the eyeball here instead? Maybe I do go for the eyeball. Nah, it's Valgavoth. This is what I'm here to play, dude. It's what I put my Magic the Gathering deck together with. Like, could I grab the eye? The reason the eye is like good because it just consecutively makes creatures over and over again. This 8/8 will block now. Now I don't care. Sure. Roll. Sure. I mean, I can offer the same exact trade. I guess so. I'll grab what? Rona right now? Oh, I could get hit with the duress. That's like always the frustrating part. When I go for Valgavoth once again. I think that's every copy, by the way. Is Valgavoth is our last one. Yeah, technically it is. Now, obviously the Overlord attacking does a lot of good for us. They sacrifice and scribe before their upkeep. So I get the Hopeless Nightmare. It goes to exile. They don't actually get it. So I get to cast it. It's interesting. But I don't know. I think that right there, that game is a lot of inexperience for me on like how I should play this matchup. Reanimator's a weird area in my brain. Anyway. All right, we go first. We have a lot of draw and discard to find the thing for the Zombify. This is one of the situations where we just like keep and just kind of hope to get there, even if it is aggro. Oh boy, is it my favorite blue-white control gamer. Just do this, I guess. I don't play against control ever until I'm playing a reanimator pile, apparently. Like when I'm playing aggro, I don't run into this guy. Like ever. It's crazy. Honestly, I think the better option is to like attack here, see if they interact. And then just try to resolve like an Overlord here or something. We're just drawing and discarding. Who really cares? What do we got to lose? Alright, we'll get rid of Valgavoth, I guess. It all resolved. This is weird. Oh, is it Haughty Gem pile? Thick. I thought it was going to be blue-white control, and I was like, of course it is. Why, when I reanimate my Valgavoth, would I ever want to, like, just have it get immediately Sunfold? You know what I mean? That's always the frustrating part to me. Start a course, 1 mana open. So we play land and we bring back Valgavoth. And I don't know if you've ever played Valgavoth against this match before. It is the worst card that they'll ever see in their entire life. And it's not close. You'll see very soon why Haughty Gem pile cannot play against Valgavoth. So, unfortunately for our opponent, instead of them being our absolute counter deck, like the deck that we have a hard time beating, we were their exact counter deck and they tapped out. So if you're unsure why, so Valgavoth is this weird thing. Some people think it's just permanent. Some things, it's like a little weird. But if a card you didn't control would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, that means your library, your hand, like from exile back into your graveyard, doesn't really matter, from anywhere, exile it instead. During your turn, you may play those cards. So this card that they just milled 4 with into their graveyard, if they were to cast another one, those 4 cards would get put in exile underneath Valgavoth. So they're never putting a Haughty Gem, they're never putting an eyeball in there and bringing it out because it's getting exiled into this. They have to cast it the hard way, and because they have exactly like 5 in here, I think eyeball is 6. Yeah, so they realistically will never put another card in there, so they can't even cast the eyeball from hand, which is a very weird thing. All right, definitely going to latch onto this. I think we don't have a ton of ways to like discard, draw, and things like that. Obviously, we have the synthesis here. That's a tough phrase for me to say. Okay, interesting. I guess I can just put a 2/3 in the way. All right, so weirdly enough, we need our lands. We probably don't need a second Zombify if I had to think about it. It's not going to be a matchup where that matters. We just need Valgavoth, and we need it in play as fast as physically possible, and our opponent not to have a Screaming Nemesis. That sounds like a lot, but if red can do it, anybody can do anything. You know what I mean? But we'll see. But now they can attack, hit me for 1, and then just pump the higher claw if they want to do that. They go for a Swift Spear. Most likely have a Monstrous Rage here if I had to guess. So higher claw is our primary target anyway when it comes to this go for the throat. So I'd much rather block here and have the monstrous rage it. So I can then do the thing later. Oh, they're going to burst lightning. So they're going to lose their higher claw here. Okay. Also, because of that, I guess. Let's play Kiora. Let's see what we can hit. Oh, man. I mean, even if we can find a couple ways to put extra cards in the graveyard, Kiora can make an 8/8. That'll also be good. Now, they could burst lightning, which is what they do. Okay. I'll take 4. So I basically... no, I don't. I'm lying. I do not have to do that. So this is a weird situation where I get to go for the throw to creature, negate their spell, and then I have to basically Restless Reef here. Let this happen because even though like I can go for the throw at one of these creatures, the last thing we want is for them to be able to interact after. Oh, I can do that too. So my plan was with Restless Reef to mill myself, but then we have to like pray we're not dead, obviously. But here we go. We have the eye, and then now we get to put this underneath, put the Harvester in the graveyard to reanimate, which will kill these as long as we make sure that they stay under the range that we need them to stay under, and a Negate can definitely do that. So double attack, there's clearly a monstrous rage, so we're gonna block. Monstrous rage will be the only card I'm looking to stop, and we'll make them figure it out from here. A random Negate comes in, the Oculus survives. Now we can bring back the Harvester, or I can just continue to play real defensive here and just dig a bit more and just play this 5/3, even though it is technically removable. And then there's a Valgavoth into that graveyard that we need so desperately, and we just hold. We defend with everything we can. We just bring out the Valgavoth. We put this underneath so we can flip it, because we can flip it next turn. And then we Zombify. We bring it out. Our opponent winces and cries, and then we have a good day. You know? It's okay, opponent. This one. And now, with that said, our opponent picks him up. Okay. Sweet. We got through that game pretty well. I think I almost threw it away. Like, kind of freaking out and being like, well, maybe I'm supposed to attack with the land, or like, maybe I set that up, or whatever. But, or maybe I Zombify out the Kiora to set it up, and it's just like, no. Relax. Calm down. Play it slower. And that's... Sometimes I have to tell myself that, like, no, just take one more turn. It is aggro. Give yourself time to breathe, and then play the game out. All right, we go first. We have a way to put this in the graveyard immediately, and we have a protection spell in terms of go for the throat. So the sand seems incredible to keep. We got a little dude down here with his little hat. We got another little dude, also a hat. Probably the same dude. Staff's different, but they're in a different area. Maybe they're all together. I don't know. I don't know the lore behind the lanes. Kingpin deciding. They mauled. We're still deciding. Swamp. Ass. Hello? Show me mono red, brother. Soldiers. Our opponent's not real. I don't believe them. We hit our lands already, so that's pretty cool. I'm afraid to do this because I don't really want to mill over my reanimate spell when I've already put it in the bin. Are we scrying here? Honestly, I don't even care about the scry that much. As long as we put a Valgavoth in play, like, it's kind of hard to lose this match. A Surveil. Guess we can just pop a lot of their creatures next turn. Is that worth? Or should I just be digging for reanimate? No, I think popping their creatures next turn makes a lot of sense. We don't need as many lands, so we'll get rid of one, and then we'll just hold this back. Because, like, the thing here is 2/2/3s is actually pretty strong against what they have in play. War Leader's Call. A little less strong now. Now, the Go for the Throat is meant for the Warden, and the Anoint is meant for the Frontliner. And the reason for that is because... Dude, can I stop drawing lands? Like, I'm glad I got to the land count I needed. But if I don't stop drawing lands, I'm going to freak out. We get rid of this. Then I think I just wait. I don't think I have to freak out too much. I could look for a Harvester off the Overlord, but I'd much rather play like a 5/5 next turn. At the beginning of your end step, if you control a creature with greater power, sure. I'm gonna remove it. I can double block here. I don't really care about that. Because honestly, now that I thought about this Overlord play, I don't actually care about these blocks that much. Okay. I guess I'll just continue to draw lands. Watch me mill over. Oh. What's that look like? Okay. Yeah, I'll grab this Harvester Misery back. And then I'll hold. Smile. Harvester is pretty good until they play the second War Leader's Call. Yeah. Sure. Thankfully, we put this Overlord into play is all I'm going to say. It's all I'm going to say. Let's play this Harvester. I lose out on the Synthesis value, but I still get to do my Overlord and all the creatures are dead. And this is where Overlord's going to find an amazing amount of value. As we just... Honestly, at this point, do I just grab a Valgavoth? Nah, I grab this Eyeball. The Eyeball is really good. And then I'll just grab it next turn. Sure, man. Blocking? Yeah. Great. It's like one of the weird things where, like, maybe grabbing the Valgavoth was worth. If you bring that up in attack, I'm a little surprised. Like, I'm not, like, surprised because it doesn't surprise me that they're doing that. Sure. Because we just, like, do this, right? Sure, like, Packle grew, but... So, dude, this game's not real, man. It's just, like, a weird thing, like, because I don't really want to complain about winning, but, man... Is it really only trying to give me a land right now? Here comes my Eyeball. Guess this attacks. I have what? 4, 5, 6. This. Because we can flip it up. And then we can reanimate Valgavoth. Valgavoth. The dude. The worst part is they're going to concede probably this turn. They don't have like anything going for them. Oh, they're really relying on Packle here, huh? Okay. Update. We also cannot block with this 2/2. I mean, it's honestly working. Block. Turn face up. I was like, not lethal. It misses by 1, so we just do this. Then we just pass. I actually had forced lethal attack where they had to block, I think, or it was just, yeah, I had forced lethal. To be fair, I didn't really think it mattered at this point, but that's how I get in trouble sometimes, by not thinking it matters. Get the blocks. Yeah. You're right. I could have just not blocked. Cool. Oh, man. I hit plat 3 for the second time this video. It's like... I just like randomly keep flooding. Like, it's so annoying. I don't feel great about that. It's just like an instant way to put Valgavoth in the graveyard. It's so hard to pass up, you know? Pass? It's like weird, because like, a weird card to like, you know. Sure. Pick that one up, I guess. There's an eyeball, so getting to that seems good. And we got a Valgavoth in the yard already. That seems even better. All right, no duress, no deep cavern bat, no nothing. See, that works. That's fine with me. Oh, and Anoint's an incredible pickup too. And we don't attack. We don't interact with Preacher at all. We just let our Valgavoth be, and we have a good time. How many cards we got? 2? You're really far away. Well, I can't play too many copies of this. I think I upped the amount. I think it's on 3 right now. Because it's just been, like, it's just such a good card. But the problem is if you don't mill, like in the situation where we're at, where we kind of just did a little bit, enough to put Valgavoth into play. Yeah, brother. That happened. I have a removal spell for it, so I'm not, like, looking to budge that at all. They don't have a way to take damage instantly. So weird. Is there a way... Close combat Gix. Interesting. Huh. Guess we just go for this, I suppose. I mean, it's not like Valgavoth's ever an important card here, I think. That's 3. I guess I just hold up this Anoint. They take another damage, which the Preacher won't do. The Preacher will make a 1/1. If it's the only attack, I just exile it. I think. Yeah, I think I just exile this. Okay. That can't block. That is just a fact. That cannot block. So I guess I get in. Oh, it's like kind of a mistake here. I should have buffed these. Okay. I mean, I guess if you got to do what you got to do, right? And I don't get their cards. That's tough. That's annoying. Can I have those back? I want those, brother. Oh, that's a tough look for sure. I mean, I guess I just do the one that's playable, right? That's why, like, I should have attacked with these, but they technically could have blocked. Well, they have Menace. Why do I forget that they get Menace? I should have played Kiora first, and then attacked, and then my 2 Menace creatures get in. Because then it's like lethal, 100%. But I mean, we have them on the back foot. We haven't seen a board wipe yet. Not a good sign, Chief. Not good. You ain't one to look at that one. I'm just gonna flip Rona, by the way. I think that's the play. Can't imagine there's much else than that, right? Here's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow. Realize if it's bat and vampire, I lose the game. Or land and the vampire, I lose the game because the bat hits me and gains 1 life and the cycle happens. Isn't that crazy? I just realized that. So I should have played the Overlord instead of flipping. Well, there's a Shieldred the Gathering, which Shieldred's gonna drain us for a lot, but we still win because again the menace is prevalent. Draw. Also, I guess they can't block at all. Doesn't matter. But yeah, if they would have played the Conqueror, right? Like if they would have went land Conqueror, hit me with this, the infinite loop cycle would have happened, I think. Yeah, because whenever you gain life, they lose. Whenever we lose life, they gain life. So yeah, they could have infinitely looped me there. So honestly, it would have been better to play this because it is flying technically. And he's also would have dealt 6. And then this would have swung, so they would have taken 7, I guess. But at least we have a creature in the way. Interesting. Or does that still work? And then I lose the gain. No, I guess I was dead either way. This didn't even need to have lifelink. Huh. Weird. Because the Conqueror says whenever we take damage. So just because this didn't have lifelink, it would have hit me for 2. I guess I would block this. So never mind. It's whatever. But like it's weird if I would have blocked the deep camera bat, I would lose still. Yes. Hello. Go first. So I'm just gonna play this first, I think, and just start playing 2/3s out. I have to cut down something. I will. Okay. Well, I don't have a cut down anymore. You have one option. It's this one. The only reason this is taking so long is because they're laughing at me. And I don't believe anything else. We draw, and then we discard. Honestly, 2 surveillance in a row here might actually be better. Weirdly enough. Also, it gives away less information, but me discarding land should be kind of a tell. The only way it's not better. Oh, man. Sure. Ran. I think Harvester is a removal spell that cannot be duressed from my hand, so I'm willing to keep it. Kind of like the idea, but we'll see. Especially if they go with like a deep cavern bat here, they have to kind of take the Harvester. I need somebody with like one of the balloon bats, you know, like one of the like kind of stiff ones you can get at like baseball games. Because anytime I talk, just like, you know what I'm saying? Like just hit me with it real hard. Let me know that I'm dumb. Do not need to negate. We're gonna impending this. Oh, I might have to discard a card. I guess it's gonna be the other one of these. Like, I like having 5 mana because it plays all my overlords. So if I like draw the other one, I have the like the land. It also plays this harvester. Get your bat ready. By the way, team, get your bat ready. So when they deep cavern bat me again here, and they take my go for the throat, we're in top deck mode. Or they're also at 11, by the way. This has to be mono black conquer combo, right? Ooh. That's a fast clock. Oh, well, okay. It was a fast clock. Depending what happens here, we're going to play it a little bit patiently. Because all we really need to do is we just need to remove this deep cavern bat. So we're going to take away the life gain here. And then when they try to bat me again, I'm going to anoint it. This game's so close. For like no reason. Combat. I guess I have lethal, but I think they have removal. So I'm not going to play to that. You know what I mean? Like, if I bring this up and attack with it and they go for the throat, they get a chance to actually win the game here. So I'm not going to make myself vulnerable to that play. And we're going to see the removal now. Sure. Cut down was getting that answered anyway. Sure. So we play land, have Anoint, maybe held up. We just play this Harvester though. And we take out both the Storm Clerk. Starscape Cleric. The Store Clerk. I literally said Store Clerk, by the way. And now I have lethal in a couple of ways. So they need land, cut down, and go for the throat. So the Anoint doesn't... Well, Anoint, I guess, can exile my land. And a creature doesn't get it done. So that there, I just bring up my land. They hope I miss it. I could mill myself, but... Wow, it wasn't even a land on top either. Man. Arena's cruel sometimes. Hey, look at that, bro. That's so unreasonable. What? They're at 43 cards before they saw their third land. Now, obviously, I don't know how many lands they play, but it's got to be like 24, right? Like, it's got to be like 24-ish, maybe 25. And they don't see the third land until... So they have 43 left, so this is 44, 45. 15 cards to find land number 3. Yeah. We're at 42, and we have 6. And there's probably one in the graveyard somewhere. But, wow. Arena is real cruel sometimes, man. Okay, so here we are. We are playing Reanimator. This is a very cool deck. I liked it a lot. It was very, very fun. I don't know who made this deck list. I don't know where it came from. I did make a very few subtle changes. Mainly, I went in and added Nowhere to Run because Boros is such a hard matchup to beat. And this was there was an entire main board and a sideboard. I didn't even add the sideboard, to be honest. I feel like I'm mainly a best of 1 channel. And I don't know enough about best of 3 to make the sideboard. So I just kind of put the main board in. I made a couple of changes to it, and we ran it down like this. Because the way I don't know is my friends see really cool deck. They screenshot it. We have a chat. Like, they go and play in tournaments and stuff. I don't really go and play a lot. I just kind of, like, hang out because I play a lot of Arena. But they, like, screenshotted it. They sent it to me, and this was, like, the list. I made a couple changes. The interesting part was all the one-ofs. If you've watched me long enough, I'm not a huge fan of one-ofs. But there's a couple of that I'm okay with, and that is like the Faithful and the Harvester, just because Overlord can grab those back. So you kind of have ways to get to it. But the other thing is like 2 Kioras, 2 Oculuses, and like there's weird amounts of cards everywhere, but it worked out pretty well throughout today, so I can't really be too upset. But it is kind of crazy. The thing I was bringing up, I'm redoing the outro, is Wizards kind of flirted with the reanimate spells, like return target creature to battlefield. Not gonna work. Is that what we need? Let's go down. So we have like this. Obviously, it's a creature. It's very vulnerable. It can be removed, and it's also like we can play it and we can activate it to sorcery, so we can do it immediately. It doesn't require it to tap. So it is 5 mana. So it's essentially 5 mana if we have to play it immediately. We have like some sacrifice. We have this one that requires a lot of steps. And then we have like Coiling Rebirth, which is kind of cool, but it also adds some steps. We have this Suspected. It's 5 mana. It's instant speed. Suspecting means it can't block. So if you put it on like a Valgavoth, then Valgavoth can't block. And like, what are we doing, you know? It's a little bit weird there. But then we have like the one that came out recently, or Invasion. They're like, let's make a 5-mana one, but it's on a battle, so you get some value. And they're like, not really. And then Rite of the Moth came out, and we're like, great, perfect, fantastic reanimate spell. The main issues with it is, one, you have to play white. So like obviously we're gonna play black in the current meta because of Valgavoth. But even if we wanted to just play white, well, you have to play black with this one, so you can't really get around that in any way. But return target creature card with a finality counter. Flashback is the main reason to play this one if you're going to play Orzhov kind of over the Zombify. But they're like, here's this 4-mana one. Is this good enough? And we're like, yeah, it's pretty good. We like this. We like this a lot. And they're like, okay, so with that said, we're gonna give you a 4-mana one. It's just black and 3. And the creature, if it dies, you can bring it back again as long as you have another Zombify. What? It's like, it's so sick. Like, it's just really funny kind of how the cards progress sometimes. And like, I don't think it's necessarily broken by any means, but the flexibility to play it in a blue-black version of the deck is really, really nice. So with that said, Zombify is sick. I like it. It was super cool. But one of the main things, and I wanted to bring this up now we're looking at it, maybe you skipped the intro, and I don't blame you if you do. But I talked about control kind of being our hardest matchup, and I think this is why. So we're so aggro meta dependent, is like we need to have the cut downs, the Anoints to go for the thirds, and the nowhere to run is something I added into the deck. Because Boros is so strong, so having nowhere to run is like incredible, because then it automatically activates every other removal spell we have, so that's very nice. But just like, if we have, say, the nuts, right? We go, you know what? We Kiora, we piss Valgavoth, next turn we Zombify it, and our opponent goes, cool, man. Day of Judgment, and we lose the game. Like, it is quite wild. The only way we really have an out is like an Oculus goes unanswered for a turn or two. These are staggered, like the Overlords are staggered in a way. So like control is so hard for us that it's kind of like, for me, if I'm playing this deck, you got to understand that that's probably just an auto scoop and just move on. You might win it, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this deck's really good against control. But I feel like 4-mana sorcery, try to bring back my Valgavoth, is really bad into a No More Lies. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think the 0-hand disruption and only 1 negate is going to be a tough call for that match. You know what I mean? With that said, I had a really fun time playing this deck. I haven't looked at like the rare count or anything like that. Are these uncommons all? Yeah, so far, I think we're kind of in the clear in terms of, uncommon reanimate spell. Mamma mia. Oh yeah, the mythics are tough. The mythics are tough, that's for sure. So yeah, cost effectively, not the best of all time. Although I do think, like, to some extent, you probably just have some of these. Like, if you opened up any set, you might have a harvester, so that can be slapped in. If you're playing Reanimator, you're gonna have Valgavoth anyway. You might have a Jace. If not, you don't even have to play Jace. Jace is just sometimes there to like play barrel ourself and then Zombify it. You can just play like another negate if you really want to, or something like along those lines, or maybe like another copy of the end if you have it laying around and things like that. The eyeball, I don't think you want to go up too much because you don't mill yourself enough to justify this, and you're not really looking to reanimate it. You can, but you don't really want to. You want to obviously save them for your big cards, but card can also win you the game. So in terms of cost wise, it's a little bit tough, but outside of that, I hope you all enjoyed regardless, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.